Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to model a realistic whiskey glass in Blender 5. During the video, I'll be talking about the shortcuts I'm using, and you'll also see the keyboard shortcuts displayed in the bottom left corner while I'm modeling. I'll also be using this model in some other tutorials and animations later on. In the description, I've added a Dropbox link to the blend file, so you can download the model if you want to follow along. I'll be using Blender 5 for this tutorial, but don't worry, most recent versions of Blender should work just fine. I'm going to break this tutorial down into two parts: modeling and then adding materials and getting everything ready for rendering. Alright, let's jump in and get started. First, select everything in the scene and delete it. Now add a circle. This will help keep everything organized, so go ahead and rename it. Go into Edit mode, select the circle, and extrude it up. Scale the top edge of the circle, and press Ctrl+R to add a new loop cut and drag it up. Add another loop cut, but this time drag it down. Select the bottom edge by holding Alt plus left click, then press F to fill it. With that edge selected, press Ctrl+B to bevel it, and in the bevel options, change the segments to about 5. Now select the top edge, extrude it, and scale it in. Switch to the front view by pressing 1 on the numpad and turn on X-ray mode. Extrude down to about where the lower loop cut is and scale the extrusion to match the shape of the glass. Turn off X-ray mode. Go to the top view by pressing 7 on the numpad, then fill the face and bevel it. Press 3 on the keyboard to switch to face select mode. Now alt-click in the middle of one of the faces in the center, and Blender will select the whole loop of faces. Press Shift+D to duplicate the faces, and scale them up slightly, something like 1.05, just so they separate from the main glass. Press P, selection to make the duplicated faces a separate object, then exit Edit mode. Rename the new object to Cut, because we're going to use this to cut into the main glass. Hide the main glass object for now. Select the cut object and go back into Edit mode. Add about 6 loop cuts to the mesh. Go back to object mode, switch to wireframe shading, and add a decimate modifier. Set the mode to unsubdivide and change the iterations to 1. Before applying the modifier, duplicate the object, press M, and move the duplicate into a new collection. Turn that new collection off so we keep a backup, because applying modifiers is destructive. Now apply the modifier, turn solid shading back on, and then go into edit mode. Select the top and bottom edges and delete them. Go back to object mode, add a wireframe modifier. Set the thickness to about 0.05, enable boundary, and apply the modifier. Unhide the glass again, go into edit mode, and scale the cut object down slightly, around 0.95, so it sits inside the glass properly. Back in object mode, select the glass, add a Boolean modifier, set it to difference, and choose cut as the object. Again, before applying the modifier, duplicate the glass and move the duplicate into a new collection called Original, just as a backup. Now apply the Boolean modifier and delete the cut object. You should see the cut pattern in the glass. Go into edit mode, right-click and choose Mark Sharp, then press N, set the mean crease to 1, and press N again to close the side panel. That adds some nice detail to the glass with those diamond-style cuts. Now let's add a few cuts on the bottom of the glass as well. Press Ctrl plus numpad 7 to move to the bottom view of the glass. Select the face on the bottom, then press I to inset it and move the inset slightly upward. Now make a cut in the faces we just created and bevel that new cut. To deselect the borders of the cut, hold Shift plus Alt and click on the edges. Next, use Checker Deselect so only every second line stays selected. Bevel those lines and set the bevel to about 2 segments. Again, deselect the borders. Then run Checker Deselect one more time, but this time set deselected equals to 3 and offset equals 1, so only the middle lines stay selected. Mark those lines as sharp, set the mean crease to 1, and move the lines slightly upward to give the cuts more shape. Now select the face in the middle, then press Ctrl plus numpad plus to grow the selection. Press Ctrl plus X to delete that selection. Finally, select each vertex at the end of the lines and scale them inward a little. This will extend the cuts and give the bottom of the glass a nicer detail. At the moment, the top edges of the glass cup are still sharp, so let's smooth those out. Move to the top of the glass model and select the 2 sharp edge loops. Press Ctrl plus B to bevel them, and in the bevel settings, set the segments to about 5. Now select the whole glass cup and recalculate the normals by pressing Shift plus N. To check the normals, open the Overlays menu and enable Face Orientation. If the face is a blue, that means the normals are correct. You can turn Face Orientation off again after checking. Right now, the glass model is very large, so with the object selected, scale it down to about 0.04. Go back to Object Mode. To zoom into the selected object, press numpad, period. Now add a subdivision surface modifier and set both levels to 3. And that's the glass cup model finished. I've put a Dropbox link to the blend file in the description if you want to download it. In the next step, we'll start adding the materials. Now let's make a plane to put the glass cup on. Add a plane, then press numpad 1 to go into front view and move the glass down so it sits nicely on the plane. Next, add a camera and an empty. Place the empty just in front of the glass cup. Now go to the render settings. Change the render engine to cycles. If you have a GPU, set device to GPU. Compute set. Viewport max. Samples to 50. Set. Render max samples to 300. Under color management, change the look. Setting to very high contrast. Go to the World tab, click the yellow dot next to color, choose Environment Texture, click Open, and load your HDRI. Now split the window and make a new panel on the left side. In the new window, press numpad 0 to look through the camera. Select the camera, move it up and back a bit. Then add a track to constraint and set the empty as the target. Now the camera will always point at the glass. In the camera settings, set the focal length to 120. In the camera view, turn off the toolbar, gizmos, and overlays, and switch the viewport to rendered mode. Select the plane and make a new material for it. Darken the base. Color, set metallic to 1 and increase the roughness so it's not too shiny. Now select the glass model and switch to the Shading tab. Change the viewport to rendered and make a new material. Delete the principled BSDF. Add a mix shader and plug it into the surface. Add a glass BSDF and connect it to the top shader input, and set the roughness to about 0.1. Add an emission shader and plug that into the bottom shader input. Add a layer weight node, take the facing output and plug it into the factor of the mix shader. Now add a color ramp and drop it onto that connection. Move the black and white sliders closer together, slightly toward the right. That gives us a nice glass material for the cup. Next, we'll add the liquor inside the glass. Go into edit mode on the glass and zoom in. Make 2 loop cuts on the inside of the model. Select the bottom face, then keep adding to the selection until you reach the first loop cut. Duplicate the selection, scale it down slightly, and separate it from the model. Exit, edit mode, and rename the new object, for example, drink. Remove the glass material from it, and in the modifiers, delete the subdivision surface modifier. Go back into edit mode on the new object. Select the top edge and press F to fill the face. Select the whole object and press Shift plus N to recalculate the normals, and quickly check that they are correct. Go back to object mode, make a new material. Change the base color to the color of your drink. Set roughness very low, around 0.025, and set transmission weight to 1. Now select the camera, turn on depth of field, set the empty as the focus object, and set f-stop to about 1.5. And that's it. Everything is ready. Now, you can render the final image. And that's it for this tutorial on how to model a realistic whiskey glass in Blender 5. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm always happy to help. And if you have any tips or feedback, I'd love to hear that too. I'm always looking for ways to make these tutorials better. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and feel free to share your renders with me there. I always enjoy seeing what you make. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Blender tutorials. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.